Hey friends, welcome back to the cabin.
And today, we're getting the garden in. Well, we're going to start off with the row garden. We've got to get out there and get that ready, get it prepped. Got to disc it up.
Yep. Yeah, and we've had a lot of rain, so we were a little bit delayed in doing some of our disking, but we did
Yeah.
get a few dry days.
Well, we got rain last night, but I believe it didn't soak in. I believe we can get out there and put the disc on it, and that'll help it dry up right quick.
Yeah,
while we get
absolutely,
ready to
yeah,
do it.
yeah. Well, we won't. I don't think we'll bog down. I think it's at a good point. We can go ahead and get our disking done.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, we got our disking done, so now we're fixing to get our seeds in the ground, and we're going to start off with corn. We're actually going to put maybe 4 rows in, right?
Why are we putting 4 rows?
Well, corn self-pollinates, so you need you need several rows close together so that the tassels can touch and it'll self-pollinate. All right, and so,
What else we planting?
oh my goodness, our favorites in the whole wide world, and that would be
Pink eye, purple hull peas. Only 2 rows of them.
pink eye purple hulls. How long are our rows out there?
They're about 100 foot. About
Yeah.
100 foot.
So if we've got 4 100-foot rows of corn, 2 100-foot rows of pink-eyed purple hulls, and then we're also going to put in 1 row of zippers.
Zippers.
Zipper creamers. They're a crowder pea, a green crowder pea. They're not as well known, but they are
But
delicious.
you know, they are good, and that is the only thing. Now, I'm a fellow that likes a lot of salt. I like salt in my stuff and everything.
And bacon
And I like
grease.
seasoning of all kinds.
Yeah.
But zippers is one food that I've found that they're just as good seasoned or not. It don't
They
matter what
are.
you do to them.
You can just boil them and not put anything on them, and they have such a fresh, clean deliciousness to them. They're delicious. And I think we might have room. We've got some potatoes out there now. We've got some
Yeah.
red potatoes.
got
So
2.5 rows of them.
2.5 rows of those. But we're going to try to squeeze in a row of contender bush green beans.
I believe we can make that.
I think we can.
Let's make it. Let's get them in the ground.
Let's get them done.
All right.
So, oh goodness. Well, we got our row crops in. So
Right.
the next thing, our raised beds have been neglected over the winter, and they
Yeah,
look.
we got to
they look pretty rough.
prep all that. We
Yeah.
got to got some work we got to do out there to that.
Yeah. So I guess we better get to that too,
Let's get
right?
to it, yeah.
All right, it's time for us to plant the raised beds, and but we've got a lot of work we got to do to them before we plant them. We've got a lot of weeding to do, cleaning them up and adding to them. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get out here and pull this fence back, and then we're going to get in there and start weeding. We're going to get all them weeds out. We got a little bit of DE here. We're going to put on any ant beds that's out there that'll slow it down until we put our. We have some homemade, non-poisonous pesticide / feed for the plants that we'll be putting on, but that come later. Right now, we're just going to use the DE to hold them back. We're going to get them cleaned up. Some of them's a little bit low. Some of them needs a little bit of soil added to them. We're going to use this right here. This is a composted manure that I got from Lowe's. You can spend anywhere from $2 to $6, $8 for a bag of this, but we use a lot of bags of it, so we choose the $2 stuff. We choose the cheaper stuff, and it's just as good in my eyes. We're going to fill these up, build them back up to where they need it. They need a little extra help boost to them too. Most of the stuff that's in these beds are from our compost, but we are out of compost right now, so we're using theirs, and we're going to get them built up and get them ready to plant. So I'm ready to get going.
Well, the project is done. We have got these beds cleaned out. Now, we didn't do a lot in the asparagus bed because it wasn't bad. We just cleaned up the little walkway between it. And you can see, even in the second one, that's comfrey that's growing. That's not a big weed, so it stays. But you can see how much better everything looks. They're ready for us to add our compost, and we're going to add our worm castings. So if you look there, though, in the garlic bed, it looks like we didn't clean it out, and actually we didn't, and that was for a purpose. That is chickweed, and chickweed is shallow-rooted and makes a great natural mulch. And also, by leaving it, I have a source of chickweed for herbal purposes, and I may talk about that in a future video. We'll start over here with the asparagus bed. We really didn't do anything to it. I did sprinkle just a few worm castings in there, but it's pretty much established, but we'll amend it through the summer. But it'll be finishing up about June. We'll give it the rest of the year off to rebuild its energy. And it's full of comfrey. You can see the comfrey in it. The second one with its comfrey, we'll just pan around. And you can see they're clean, they're ready, they've got their compost, they've got their worm castings in there. See the carrots and the garlic. Well, we got the raised beds prepped. They are ready. They've got some new soil. They've got some worm castings, and we'll talk about those in another video coming up. But
they've got everything but plants.
Yeah, so we've got to run to town and we got to go get some plants.
Let's go get them.
Let's go.
All right.
All right, so we got our plants, and now what did we end up getting?
Well, I got the 6 Marion tomatoes. I wanted
Marions.
them.
And the
Yep.
reason we chose Marions, Marions is our go-to slicing tomato because it's an heirloom, and we can save the seeds from those.
Right. And we got some, you wanted some Romas for putting up,
Romas.
Roma tomatoes.
Yeah,
for
I
putting up.
didn't, I've put up just the slicing tomatoes, but they're very watery, so I really needed to go with more of a paste tomato
Right.
for making my stewed tomatoes and stuff like that.
We
my
bought
canning.
12 of those, but now
Mm-hmm.
we don't have room in that raised beds for 12 of them. So some of them, we
They'll go
got
in
6
feed
of
to-
them.
yeah, they'll
we
go
got
in-
8 of them in there, didn't we?
We did. We got 8 in there, but we'll probably put those in feed tubs or buckets.
Right,
the
right. We
extras.
still got buckets we got to set
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
up. And we got the, the same thing with the squash and zucchini now.
Yeah. Now normally we buy seeds and we just seed those, but
And 2 squash and 2 zucchini is
it's more than enough for us. Yeah. But we went to the co-op, of course, you saw that, and they just looked so good. And the co-op is so price effective. What am I trying to say? They're everything.
They're a lot cheaper,
They're a
folks.
lot cheaper. So they look so good. So rather than buying the seeds, I just went ahead and bought 2 packs of those. Now we've got some.
Right, we can catch them in the buckets.
Right.
We'll
Or feed. They do great in feed tubs because they spread out so much, and we've got some
some of
cattle
those.
feed tubs, so we'll put those in there. So
and what else we get? We got the green peppers. Did we say
bell
that?
peppers, yeah, we got the bell peppers.
And you know what? We're going to put the bell peppers in the buckets
They
this year.
just did.
We have
The best
never
we ever had was
Right.
in buckets.
Last year when we had to use buckets
Uh-huh.
because we was out of town working and we had to have buckets, we had to have a traveling garden,
Yeah,
you know.
No,
So
we did.
done them in buckets and they work fantastic. So
they
we're
just
going back with the
really
buckets.
flourished in the buckets, and we have struggled for some reason over the years with bell peppers or peppers, but particularly bell peppers. It was hit and miss. And one thing that we have learned is they do better with a little less sun than tomatoes. A lot of people kind of equate them with tomatoes, but they need a little less harsh sun than tomatoes. So we're going to have to work around that a little
Right,
bit.
I'm gonna go up against that building to put that, and that's gonna cut out a few hours sun a day.
Yeah,
And even
we're
if
gonna try
that's too
that.
much, then we'll work something out of it.
Yeah, we'll
if
do
we have
something to
put something.
protect them, but they're
We'll try.
Yeah, they're going to do great in the bucket. So, and also we got some okra seed,
Yeah.
and we put that, or we'll put that out there,
Right.
and also we will put maybe what's left, some of it left over, we'll put
Back in the row garden. if
Yeah,
we
when
find it.
we-
we
when
got
the-
we got half a row.
And plus
there
the
where
potatoes will be
where
coming
the
out.
potatoes are now.
Yeah.
But that we'll go back in with more potatoes there.
either, maybe sweet potatoes or something like that. Yeah, so it's going
Well,
to
we've
be
got
busy.
a half a row left out there on them. We'll finish that okra out there.
Yeah, because we love okra. So
We need to get it planted.
yeah, we do. Let's get it in the ground.
it's time to get started on the bucket.
Now we gotta get our buckets fixed up and get our peppers and everything in there. But you can't just set your buckets down on the ground because of the
Right.
grass growing up and
Right.
everything. So
We're gonna roll a mat out. I'm gonna roll a mat out to set the buckets up on. But when we put something out on the ground like that to cover up the ground, it's ants.
fire ants.
Fire ants are crazy.
And deep south, and those of you that live here, you know exactly what we're talking about. They are a curse on the deep south. Fire ants. They're very, very detrimental to a lot of things. But it seems like when you lay something out on the ground, it just draws them, and they build that underground.
Well, we're gonna go under
Community
that. Now
under
that mat, that's a rubber mat.
Right, but we're going to do a preventive with a little bit of
up under the mat,
Amdro.
completely away from the plants and everything is where we'll put the poison.
Yeah, because you just have to, because if you don't, you're just going to have them, and you can't go out there and even check your peppers without just getting covered in
The
fire ants.
DE works pretty good, but once it rains, then the DE's gone.
Yeah, and
You
it's
know,
it's
that's a quick fix. You know,
it's not right. It's not a
gonna handle the problem.
permanent solution. Yeah, it helps kind of beat them back, but it's not going to get rid of them. So, all right, so we got to go get some buckets
we
ready.
gotta
Yeah.
gotta get the buckets. We're gonna fill them up. I got some more of the compost that we're gonna use in the buckets.
Right, because we are out of our homegrown compost. We went through that whole huge compost bin.
Well,
So-
we've done a lot with it. We
Oh, we have. I'm tickled, and we've got another one heating now. We got another compost going, but it'll take it a while before it's ready. So, I'm ready to.
ready to get the buckets.
Yeah, let's get the
Let's get 'em
buckets
up.
in. Wow, we got the garden in, the whole
in. It's
garden
in
in.
now, you know.
It's done. I think this has been a successful garden venture right now. Getting
So
everything in the
far,
ground.
so far,
Yeah.
just needs the blessings of God on it, and
Oh,
we'll
it's
be
got
eating.
that. Yeah, it's got that. So, and speaking of blessings, you know my favorite. Don't ever forget that your Heavenly Father loves you.
Amen.
And we'll see you.
On the next video.
God bless.
Bye.